My name's my name's Addison. I am from a really small town in Kansas, out in the middle of nowhere. My high school was in the middle of a bean field. I had a diner and a shortstop in my small town. That's really where I grew up. But I started this business at 19 years old. I was working as a nanny. I was an Uber Eats delivery driver. I was working in the medical field, and I was working night shifts on top of that. I had just finished my first year as a college athlete, my first year of college, and I was like, I don't know what I want to do. So I went to laser school, moved back home and got all those jobs. I moved into my parents' basement, and honestly, I was just very tired and exhausted all the time. And it came down to knowing, okay, I'm 19 years old. No 19-year-old needs to just be grinding their life away and doing nothing but working. I want a life. And so I actually watched this girl for 2 years while I was playing college volleyball. I watched her live her dream life. I watched her pay off her student debt, her fiance's student debt, now husband. I watched her just do so many incredible things. And so one day I was actually at my night shift, and I remember being so tired, my eyes were about to fall out of my head. That's how tired I was because night shift is just so rough. And so I saw her post and I thought to myself, you know what? She's from a small town too. I'm just going to go ahead and try this thing. And I'm not going to be scared. I'm just going to go all in. And so that's what I did. I went all in with the business, and I did everything that she told me to do and more because I wanted to be successful. I was so hungry for success, but so hungry for money because I was so broke. My parents were also really broke at the time. They were about to lose their house. They didn't have any money to give me. And they're like, you just got to figure this out. Like I was literally living off of quarters on my car floor to pay for gas. So I was very, very broke and I was struggling. And I also wanted to help my family out. And so I joined this business, and I actually worked those 3 to 4 jobs for 2 months. I worked those 3 to 4 jobs for 2 months, and then I retired myself from corporate America at 19 years old. And ever since then, I have never clocked into a 9 to 5 because I just simply won't go back because this business is incredible. I mean, you get impact, but you also get to decide your own schedule, but you also get to live a healthy lifestyle with the product. So I just became obsessed with it. But I actually went Ruby in about 4 months. I went Emerald 2 months after that. I went Diamond a month after that. And then I actually double promoted from Diamond into Double. And then I just went Triple a couple of months ago. And so that's where we are. But this business has completely changed my life. And I came from a family that never mentioned anything like this. My dad was searching for jobs for me. I mean, any job for me when I first started this business, because he was like, girl, what are you doing over there? What are you doing on social media? Is this a real job? And he had no idea what this was. Nowadays, he does support me, and I've actually been able to give back to my family because of this business. But I was also able to retire my boyfriend, now fiance, from his 9 to 5. He was a plumber, and he wasn't happy at his job, and he just wanted to do something else. And he's actually been able to step into his own dream because of this business. So I was able to do that. And like I said, I left all of those jobs. I've been able to grow my faith immensely, but that's a little about me. And I can go into the next thing if you're wanting me to, or you can ask me questions or, okay, sound good? Okay, so Rusty had reached out to me about that quote that I said that said, let's normalize women growing $1 million businesses from home, because that is on my dream board. There's a lot of things on my dream board, but building $1 million business is one of my dreams. I mean, I remember looking back as a little, I think I was like 7 or 8 years old, and you hear everyone like, oh, if I win the lottery today, or if I only had $1 million. And I was like, oh, it'd be so cool to be one of those people someday. Well, you can with this business. You can become a millionaire in this business. And that just really stuck out to me, that quote. So I feel like today we've been fed so many lies. You need a degree to be successful. Again, I grew up in a small town. That's all I was preaching to my ear. You need a degree, you need a degree. Even though my mom and dad both had a degree and they're about to lose their house, which again, you can go down either path, but this business can give you so much more than that. And so another lie we've heard is, oh, I can't do video content. I can't post a video on Instagram or an Instagram reel. I don't know how to do that. Or my life isn't perfect enough for that. Or only influencers or celebrity make money online. And that's just simply not true when it comes down to it. When I first started, I really dove into video content. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to work Facebook. I was not tech savvy at all. Like when it came down to it, I did volleyball, I went to school, and that's all I did. And so when I dove into this, I really was just a learner. I asked all the questions. I was curious about social media. I had no idea how it worked. I didn't know how to edit a TikTok, but I asked my leader, how do you do this? Because I see you making money by doing this. And so I started posting video content, which is just TikToks and Instagram reels. And I honestly just started copying the right cat. By that, I mean, I was copying exactly what my leader was doing. I was copying her before and after results, her wording, her hashtags, because I didn't really know what I was doing with video content. So I thought, might as well copy her. Her videos are improving, and video content is so important. It's so important to dive into because it basically makes you money while you sleep, especially Facebook Reels. Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, and TikTok. That's what I did. And that's how I built my business. And that's how we're on the road to the $1 million dream that we have, $1 million business. And it's not just, oh, I want to become a millionaire, me and my fiance. Oh, I want to be the first millionaire in my family. It's more so we want to have this $1 million dream, which means more lives changed, so many lives changed, so many more lives changed. It means people's health is going to be changed completely 180, flipped upside down. And so that's really the lies that we've been told in today's society. And that's what I personally do. When it comes down to what I do again, I really just post the products on my stories every single day. Facebook, I post on my Facebook stories. I post on my Instagram stories. And if you have any questions, please don't be afraid to ask in the chat, because I know when I first was dealing with social media, I was like, what the heck? Because I'm not for sure how your guys' team works. I don't know if you guys do in person or social media or all of it. But basically what I do is I post my Instagram stories of my own results every single day. I've never gone a day without posting my own results or someone else's results on my Instagram story and on my Facebook story. So I'm doing that, but I'm also posting video content every single day. And a lot of people are like, I'm a mom, or I have 2 kids in baseball right now. I don't have time for that, girl. Or I'm a college student taking summer classes and I'm a mom, or I'm a single mom. And I hear all these things and I work with them and I'm like, okay, let's do some batch content. That's where you sit down, your hair doesn't have to be perfect, nothing has to be perfect. You sit down and you click the record button. And then you do that about 10 more times. And then that's batch content because you can save it and edit it later when you're at your kid's baseball game, or maybe you're in between classes, whatever it may be. Batch content comes in handy, and that's what I do, and that's what my team does. We also do Facebook host to post. We do Instagram host to post, TikTok host to post. And you can always message me separately so I can break that down a little more if you have any questions about that. But I basically just post a little TikTok host to post. And the last one actually got like 90,000 views and 5,000 comments. And that's all because I posted a video of me walking. Wasn't even in my face. All because I posted a video of myself walking with the host to post giveaway words on it. And then I have them message me on Facebook or Instagram, and I have them throw up that post. And then I offer the business opportunity and I offer the products. So this is what we're doing right now. And this is why our numbers have been up. But again, when it comes back to that quote, if you're wanting to build something for you, this is definitely it. And if you just join and you're like, girl, I just want to make an extra $500 or $40, you can do that. But this $1 million dream is still in the door. If you want to create that legacy, if you want to create that $1 million business, you can do that, and you don't need a big degree or a big following. A lot of people, when they come in the business, they think that they need a big following in order to be successful in this business. Again, I had no social media experience. I grew up in a really small town. I got a phone when I was like probably a freshman or sophomore in high school. So again, I had no idea how it all worked. But yeah, I just create content, and that's really what I do. But you don't need a degree or a big following or anything like that. And I feel like it's really important nowadays to normalize that you can build $1 million business from home, because you can do it while you're with your kids. You can do it while you're with your friends or whatever it may be. Amanda Busher, she's actually a top leader in her company. She says, I can be a present wife and a present mom and a great business owner all at the same time because I pour into all those cups. And then she talks about her schedule, and she's like, in the morning I work out, and then I go and I do my business, and those are my business hours. And then in the afternoon, I go pick up Crew from his baseball practice, and I'm with him 100% of the time because that's mom time, and that's me being 100% present. And then after that, she goes back to the business, and then after that, she goes back to her family. That is why she is a top point earner for Mexico right now, is because she has no excuses. She can have it all. She can be a great mom, a great business owner, and she can be a great wife. And that's what I apply to my life. I don't have kids right now, but I know that I'm working towards that. That's what keeps my momentum up of we're building this $1 million business, not for myself, but for our future kids, so that they never have to be like, oh, where's mom? Or, Oh, our mom and dad, are they on like the same wavelength? Like they're totally different people. They're going towards totally different things. We have the same vision and we have the same vision of building that legacy for our future children and also for our families. What you do does not just impact yourself, it impacts every single person around you. My fiance was able to go down his own road with his business. We actually have horses and he wants to have his own cattle company and everything like that. But we have horses and this business supplied the money to pay for those horses. And that's his dream. Imagine if I would have never said yes. When I first joined, my fiance was a bull rider. He did that for a living. And I was traveling with him and I was broke. Like I said, I was working 3 to 4 jobs. Imagine if I would have never said yes to this business. His dream wouldn't have been fulfilled either. So you can build $1 million business from your home. It's just about finding the little spaces all throughout the day. When I first started, like I said, 3 to 4 jobs. My middle name was Busy. I was working with my patients. When I was with my patients, I was present with my patients. And then I was also working as a Uber Eats delivery driver, nanny, and night shifts. I would do work whenever I could. It wasn't, oh, it has to be all perfect. I have to have that perfect video content, or I just don't really feel like posting video content. It came down to, how much do you want your paycheck to be? Like, honestly, that's what it comes down to. How much do you want your paycheck to be? If you work this like a little side hustle, you're going to get paid like a side hustle. If you work this like a business, you're going to get paid like a business. And that just clicked in my head when I was 19 years old. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to treat it like business. And now it's carried us through every single season. But that's a little bit about what I wanted to talk about and how you can build $1 million business from home, but also my story. I'm not for sure if you have any questions for me, but
Well, I love it, Addison. I love it. And how old are you again?
I'm 23.
Well, I had the pleasure to meet her boyfriend at conference, and I actually saw you. And then she was at the Black Tie Fair, the $1 billion party with us on the Mark's 12,000-acre ranch. And I saw the post that she made, and it resonated with me. And what I wanted, and at 23 years old, to hear the content you just got from her should inspire you beyond your wildest imagination. So the only thing that holds you back is you and procrastination and waiting, because there's not one person here that cannot build that $1 million business. And the one thing that I loved about what you said, Addison, is I do it for my kids. And one day you're going to have kids. That's the exact why I left the bank as a senior vice president of a major bank, one of the top 5 from the Federal Reserve. I walked away from it because of my 2 little girls. They were growing up and we wasn't home, and I'm just a farm boy from the mountains of Virginia. And when I walked in and walked out, I knew I wasn't going back. But Mark Pentecost put a dream in my heart that where we're going. And once you hit the $1 million business, it don't take too many years to your business. It's the $1 billion. And once you do that, you have multiples of millionaires in your organization. And when you do that, you start to secure the future of your family, and you create, what did you say, the generational legacy?
Generational wealth,
Yeah.
generational legacy.
Yeah. Well, if you want to create the legacy for your family, you can do it right now. All you got to do is do like Addison. Stop making excuses and wait until tomorrow or Monday or Saturday. That's what I've seen in my 24-year history with Mark in direct sales. They're always going to do it because it is a fear that you don't deserve it. But I can promise you one thing, Addison. When you hit your first $1 million, we made the first million in 42 months here, but 10 of my team did too. But once you make the first million, everything about your life starts to change. But you know what it is? Your expectation. Your expectation, you start to work like a millionaire. You start to work like a boss. You start to work like you take ownership of your life and your business. But you're going to teach, you get one, you teach one. As you start to teach this duplication with the attitude of a 23-year-old girl. And I'm saying that with full respect, girl. She's 5 years younger than my baby daughter. But the desire she has and the post she made, it was so strong. I knew every one of you needed to hear it from this, and no disrespect, from this kid. I'm old enough to be like your grandfather. But I can tell you one thing: when you start to live life on this particular level, and you have the attitude she's got, you can hear the confidence in her voice as she takes her business to the next level, Because she said several times, and I'm sorry I'm late. I was at another meeting at another county. As she come from a small family. They were broke. She got her first phone when she was a sophomore in school. Did you hear the story she just said? Now, how many of your story is just basically like hers? We all come from basically nothing. My wife and I was extremely poor. I'm talking about no food, no money, no lights, no nothing, and no help. And I promise you, I wish somebody, and hey, I don't have a degree, even though I was at the top of the bank. I don't have a degree. But I promise you one thing, if I called Mr. Pentecost and tell him to get on this Zoom right now, he will. And I want you to look at how many people that have degrees that work for us inside the corporate office. And right now and nothing wrong with a degree, but right now you're the guys that can go in this biggest run we've ever had. With it just at Diamond, you have the ability to make about $360,000 your first year in coding money alone. I would work like my rear end is on fire and everything I have is on fire, and I wouldn't take no days off. The super rich people that I know now, they don't take days off. But when they take time off, it's because they earned it. And they're highly competitive with themselves. Do you know why? Because living life the way you want to, because you own your time. You tell me what's better, then I promise you we can aggregate the money before midnight and buy it. Your time is the most valuable thing you got. It's precious. And if you invest your time and you work like a CEO, you're going to own your time and you become an asset to your family. If you don't, any excuses that you make you create a liability. So I want to ask you something. Do you want to be a liability or do you want to be an asset? Both of those are defined by how you invest your time. And if you make a daily plan of action, tonight before my wife and I go to bed, we will not go until we have a priority plan of action of how our business is going to fall down tomorrow, how we're going to take care of our family, and all the things that come your way. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to be worth it? Yes. Because working a job or 4 or 5 jobs, that ain't easy neither. Therefore, you're just wasting your time. But here's the one thing that you really waste. You're wasting the gifts that God gave you. God gave every one of us a particular gift. So when your father's sperm hit your mother's egg, you was nothing more than a fertilized egg going down your mother's fallopian tube. No accident. You was birthed into a blueprint. And therefore, you were born with particular gifts because God tossed them in as you're flowing down the fallopian tube. Most people go to the richest place on earth, which is a graveyard. They don't even take the bow off the box. There's never been nobody since the beginning of time till the end of time like you, each one of you. You're specific and you're put here to take that gift and to what? Give that gift away. And right now, 75% of every person in America is extremely obese. I read the stats today. We're in a $2 trillion market, wellness and obese. I ain't never been in a $2 trillion market. It grew into this. And now we have what? We have the solution to help people in two things. And the reason people are obese now is because it's a lack of resources, a lack of money. They're living a lack of, so they turn to the refrigerator or bags of chips or whatever. They desperately need us to show up because one, we have a solution for both problems. So Addison, we're going to close this Zoom out now. What is one thing, if you're going to set this thing on fire, what would be your last closing remarks?
So I have a few things actually, but my few things are, what is your blueprint? It's so funny that you said blueprint because that's actually something that was my devotional today was what's your blueprint? And you have to have a vision of some sort because that is what keeps me ticking every single day. I'm thinking about 30 years down the road, 40 years down the road. I'm thinking about my future children. I'm thinking about my grandchildren. And if you don't have vision, you won't have anything to work towards. And so you have to figure out your vision and you have to see it before you have it, which means you need to have your vision board out. If you don't know what a vision board is, you can look it up, but basically it's a whole bunch of pictures that you want your future to look like. Personally, we have a cattle ranch on there. We have debt free, which we're gonna be debt free this year. It's really awesome. But we have a whole bunch of pictures on our vision board. And if you don't have vision, you won't know where you're going. So that's the biggest thing. And then also is a vehicle. You have to choose what you're doing every single day, whether that be this daily to-do list, or maybe it's like a pen and paper. That's what I personally do, pen and paper. If you don't have a vehicle to guide you every single day, if you don't have the same thing that you're doing every single day, if you don't have your daily to-do list in front of you, nothing changes about my daily dues that I do every single day. If you don't have that vehicle in front of you, you're not going to get anywhere daily, which is really about the small things that you do daily. And then the last thing is your village. I want to talk about more of this. Sorry, this is a little longer, but your village is really important. So your community, the people that are around you on your team, your online presence, who you're locking arms with really matters. Because I remember being around a group of people in Kansas, I actually live in Florida now, but they're like, that little business is a scam, or that little business is weird, or that's not even making you a living, which little did they know I was probably making more than all of them. But if you don't have a village around you that's going to empower you, you're going to be the one that goes down with them. You're going to be the third one that's doing the same thing that they're doing. And so you need to have vision, vehicle, and you also need to have a village around you that's going to support you and that's going to push you on the hard days, even when you're like, dang, I just worked 3 to 4 jobs today and I'm about to fall asleep at the wheel. But they say, keep going. You have to keep going, which is where self-development comes in. But those are my 3 B's that I think you need to have. So
Well, thank you so much. Well, Rachel, I'm going to turn it back to you. Thank you so much, Addison.
Well, I can't even follow that. I don't even want to follow that. I want to go work before the night is over. Because I'm like you, Rusty. I always have my plan of action before the next day. Because thankfully I have finally gotten to the point where I understand how important that is. But yeah, I don't have anything to add to that. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being on, allowing us to hear it, bam, pouring into us. I thank you very much for that.
thank you.
Well, guys, y'all have a great evening. I love you. You matter to me. And until tomorrow, make this the best evening you've ever had. And she'll have the recording up in the chat. So, and Addison, I'll send it over to you. And by the way, they sent you the book today. I saw I got an email. You should have it in the next couple of days. All right, y'all
Thank
have
you.
a great evening, guys. Good night. Thank you so much, Addison.